Ukraine is declaring a state of emergency as concerns grow over all-out war with Russia. The order will last for 30 days. It will apply nationwide, except for the rebel-held regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. Now, Kiev has been in conflict with Russian-backed separatists since 2014. Moscow has upped the ante by formally recognizing the independence of Donetsk and Luhansk and ordering troops to be deployed for what it calls peacekeeping operations. Kiev is now calling up some 200,000 reservists aged 18 to 60 as it works to bolster defenses. Ukraine is also urging its citizens to leave Russia immediately. Russia's actions have been met with a growing tide of sanctions. Japan and Australia joining in following coordinated Western action. Both countries will impose travel bans on Russian officials, as well as people linked to the two breakaway regions. Russian banks are also in the crosshairs. South Korea is also considering imposing sanctions against Russia. Seoul has already ruled out military support and deployment. And more sanctions could be on the way, with Britain saying it stands ready to escalate matters. Live to Ollie Barrett in London later in the bulletin. But first, Julia Chapman joins us live with more on Russia's strategy. Julia, Moscow remains open to diplomacy despite its actions in eastern Ukraine?
That's right. That's what President Vladimir Putin said today in his address to the nation on Defenders of the Fatherland Day, a national holiday here in Russia, one with close links to the military, in fact. But it comes on the same day as Russia has taken the step of removing its diplomats from Kiev. It says that they are no longer safe there, says they have been receiving threats. And so it is now effectively cutting off diplomatic ties with Ukraine, which could be seen as a further escalation, a further warning of what could be yet to come. And undoubtedly, although Russia says that it is interested in diplomacy, President Putin also said that Russia's security interests come first. And it's unlikely that there are very many countries that are going to be still interested in diplomacy after the move that has been taken to recognize the independence of Donetsk and Luhansk and send in peacekeepers to the area. Of course, we've already heard that meetings with the Secretary of State in the US and the French Foreign Minister this week with their Russian counterpart have been cancelled. So undoubtedly, Russia already becoming much more isolated as it's chosen this route, this path, and that is likely to continue in the coming weeks.
Now, we also see a growing list of sanctions with more countries joining in. What is Russia's response to that?
Russian officials have been pretty dismissive of these new sanctions that were announced. They've said that this is not a way to contain Russia. That's what they believe is the intention of these sanctions from the West. Many people here say that even if Russia hadn't annexed Crimea, if it hadn't taken the step to recognize these republics as independent, the West would have found some sort of pretext to introduce sanctions and try to contain Russia. That is what they believe is the aim of these sanctions being implemented. Undoubtedly, Russia has taken steps to sanctions-proof its economy since 2014, when it annexed Crimea and was met with a raft of sanctions from Western countries. But these ones are expected to go much further. Already we're seeing quite tough measures being introduced with the cancellation of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, targeting of banks, among other steps. And undoubtedly, if there is any further conflict, further invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces, those sanctions are going to become much more significant, affecting not just the Russian elites, but Russian people as well.
Julia Chapman in Rostov-on-Don, thank you.